I've been trying to get better at Age of Empires. It's gonna have a little slowdown in the beginning because the Dark Age it lags a little bit, but it'll speed back up, and then I'll speed up the game. Me and my brother here, I'm still getting head, and I am Shineo as usual. My brother's name is more of a play on the internet video. I'm still getting headshots than something dirty, I think.
No, I altered it intentionally to be dirty.
This is kind of like an Age of Empires help video. I'm gonna have to speed it up because of Dark Age.
We're doing a flush.
How do I get the time on there? What's
F11?
F11. Thank you.
Wow.
We do a lot of flushes, and we're really bad at our end game. Our middle to end game is pretty weak. We don't
speak for yourself.
We don't boom as well as we could, and then we have a hard time with counters. But what we do really well in this game is rushing, and so when on my typical rush, I try to get 6 workers on food immediately. I go scouting for sheep,
and then the other 5 on wood
as fast as I can. Yes,
5 or 4.
4 or 5 on wood next is the following build order. Michael should have the same sort of build going on his base. And the guys that were playing Biwo for Life and Tut.
Can I say something?
Sure.
Yeah, you want to start off with 2 houses, 2 or 3 houses too. Right off the bat, just build them. And if you can't find your sheep, immediately start chopping wood or gathering berries. But you got to get your sheep as quickly as possible. You have 4 sheep, 4 primary sheep, and you have usually 2 secondary sheep, and then there's sheep strewn out all over the map.
Right.
And you want to get as many as possible. And it's also important to get your boars. There'll be 2 primary boars by your base, and we'll see if in this game I only found one of them. The one to the south I did not find. It was the one to the north of my base, northwest.
I see a lot of people get their boars earlier. In terms of when you should do it, I'm not sure, but I normally get my boars late.
Before you go to feudal. I'd say to give you that last push to get to feudal age, because they have a ton of food, and you want to lure them directly on your town center. You usually want to send out 1 villager, so when they're gathering food, they can immediately deposit it at the town center, as opposed to having to walk all the way forward and then all the way back.
So it's good not to get housed. You have a population cap up here, and houses give you 5 extra pop to your total count, and you definitely don't want to hit that max point because
the longer time you spend being housed, that's time wasted pretty much.
It's just inefficiency. When you're playing a game where you need the rush, you need to make sure you have your workers out quickly because you're gonna need them at all times. So when I scout my gold supply, my main gold supply. I get most of the food on my map, and then I know where my boars are. I'll go out and I'll start looking for the enemy base, and I'll just try to make sure that I can see where their wood line is and where their town center is, and just kind of where their gold supply is, because I'm going to plan to do some harassment in those areas. So I'm doing a board lure right now. Just normally I research loom because you need that extra hit points. It'll help a lot.
And a laggy online match is definitely recommended.
And then just making sure that you get the boar as close to the town center as possible. I don't get it as close as some people, but I do an okay job. At some point, you're going to exhaust your livestock supply, so you need to start switching over the farms, which means you got to put more people on wood to sustain that. But our classic build order is about 22 workers for me. I get 22, well, not 22 workers, 21 workers plus 1 scout. And then once I know where the person's gold supply is, I'll try to do some pretty cheesy things to mess with them. Also, I'll send my workers out pretty soon here. Yeah, I have 2 workers coming out. I don't know why I'm view-locking. But I have 2 workers coming out. If you want to prevent them from being attacked by wolves, have a scout follow one of them, and maybe run them closer together so they can help attack the wolves, because a lot of people struggle with that. Michael's already got his forward going. In this game, Michael had a much better forward, a much faster forward. He's able to do earlier harassment.
Yeah, you want to get your forward or at least start building it. Actually, a good time is around 8 minutes, but I'm a little slow, so I got mine in at about 9:30 is when I started building. But I mean, as long as you get in, you know,
before feudal. Yeah. Before, like, an average feudal is like 11 to 12, I feel like. For average players.
Yeah.
And
we are not exceptional players.
No.
We've just been practicing the rush for a while. That's pretty much it.
We've been really successful at rushing. That's basically it.
It's pretty much because people really don't expect it.
Right, especially at this like the 1600 level, they don't know how to quite defend these the strategies, and so we're ranked in the upper 1500. We lost a couple games. Although we haven't played anything ranked, but we've won quite a lot of games. I think it's probably won like 50
We just like
games.
to surprise people.
It's pretty fun. So this guy's starting to get gold. I was a little frustrated with this one because I didn't cut off and I didn't find his other gold supplies.
I try to build my forward near his gold. Like, I know you're supposed to zone, at least I've heard from a lot of people, zone them off of their wood first. I tend to more along the lines focus on gold and then kind of get the wood secondary, but I mean, you can really do it either way.
So I clicked up the feudal. I'm already hitting up the feudal. I think Michael's around the same.
You can check. You can switch over to me and see what I'm doing. Yeah, I'm going to feudal.
Doing the same thing. He's got a pop of 22.
I was kind of late on my
pop of
feudal
22
because
as well.
I did not find my second boar, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's a huge amount of food. Livestock is the best source of food. I think you gather faster.
Yes.
And then next would probably be berries in the farms.
So as soon as I get up to feudal age, I prop down an archery range. I always do that. I'm not commentating from like memory. I just know that's what I do, and I get up archers as quick as possible.
Yeah, you can do what Michael does and build it all together and just kind of slam it. I tend to build my barracks at a little weirder spot than I build my archery range because I want people to think pressure may be coming from one side and then I switch it to another. But they'll soon know where it's coming from.
Sometimes I move around if I'm worried about my villagers. If I feel like he knows my villagers are there and usually they discover them, then I might move to another spot.
These two went to the feudal pretty much at the exact same time. We had a little leg up on them in terms of getting our stuff built.
Yeah, we should already be getting archers out.
Yeah, this is a pretty late attack.
I chose to play as the Britons because they have that range bonus early on, even in feudal, I believe.
You see, I got housed here right as I was beginning to start my attack, which is frustrating because now it kind of negates the time that I put into getting that extra feudal or getting quicker to feudal.
Although everyone gets housed, it seems like we always get housed. I watch pro games, even pro gamers get housed. It sucks.
It's hard.
It's an eternal curse.
You get so focused on your
and
attack.
So usually I send about 3 archers out. This time I sent a little bit more because I think I was distracted or something. But as soon as you get like 3 archers up, just go in straight for their wood, gold, whatever you feel like, and then just keep making them. Have them garrison so they'll go straight to the spot where you're attacking.
So I built a tower over his gold line to try to really, like, that's extra harassment there. What I should have done is build some palisade wall around it, and I do that sometimes, but
because villagers can take out buildings really fucking easily.
But I kind of encourage it too, them to try to take it out, because then I have my archers here to pick off some workers, and I'm okay with losing a tower, getting a ton of workers. I have all my guys set to stand ground because I don't want them to chase towards the town center.
Yes, that's very important.
If you tell them to attack someone, though, they will chase them to the town center. If you stand the ground, the archers, they will fire at anything in its range. So, for me, that's kind of the best option. Doing a good job getting them off his gold line up here.
I'm just kind of... Oh, and here's a neat trick. See that tower right there? So these towers have a minimum range issue where if you get under them, if you get your units under them, if they build a tower, they think they're being smart. Oh, I'll build a tower to defend my wood line. Unless they build a second tower like they're doing here, which they will not usually have enough stone, I believe. They would only have enough stone for 1 tower. I'll have to look that up.
No, it is. It's 1 stone.
But yeah.
Or 1 tower.
Yeah, if they only have 1 tower up, you can just send your units right under the tower and have them, stand ground, and they're just standing there, and the tower can't do anything.
So Tut did a really good defense. He built exactly the counter to an archer, which is a skirmisher. And he's gathering a lot of them. Like, he's really invested into
And at this point, if this is happening in your game, there's kind of like 2 things you can do. You can kind of go scouts, but that'll delay your castle time because it's very food-intensive unit. The better way to do it is to get him to overcommit to a feudal war and then advance up to castle as quickly as you can to get out your knights. Because that's what you do. As soon as you hit castle, you usually just go straight knights. Unless you're another civilization that specializes in something like Huns, they would be like cav archers.
So yellow hit castle, and it's kind of an interesting. So that means Michael really needs to get to the castle age as fast as possible, because as soon as he gets knights out, these
Let me see where I'm at in terms of getting there in resources.
They aren't going to stand.
Yeah, I realized I was kind of starting. At this point, I should have plopped down a ton of farms. I think I did neglect my economy in this game, but I might have got up to castle. I'm not sure.
So, kind of where I'm at is he's done a really good job of countering me. He's attacking the building. He can't see me. He can't actually see me if I turn on Fog of War and switch to Tut, he can't see my archers there, and so he's not attacking him yet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some scouts, and I'm going to counter the skirmishers with that, and then protect the scouts from the spearmen, which is a good counter to these. So we both have each other's counters. It just depends how we micro them for success. I do have the gold units, which are generally better in the game, but if you have counters to gold units, then the gold units don't really matter. It's just kind of it's really an interesting moment for me, because I didn't know how my rush was going. Right. What are you pointing at? Yes, I have 3 scouts in there.
No. The arrows. I mean, not the arrows, but the flags. Tell them about that.
Oh, you can garrison troops inside only when you make them if you right-click the same building that they're being produced from. And
you usually do that with amateur players, it's a little different because the whole purpose is so they don't know what your card is. It's basically like playing a game of cards and you can't see what the other guy has.
You should know their scouts because everyone only makes scouts.
Yeah, but like in an archer range or any other building, that's just a minor strategy. So it's nice because they can't get attacked too.
They threw the archers in there, get rid of the spearmen, and then just ran the scouts in to see what they could do. It's kind of hard to micro them, so I try to let them go wild after they get one guy, and then I threw my archers in there just because I want to do extra damage. At this point, I probably should have pursued and got rid of all of them, but I decided I'd go run and do some more harassment to his town center.
And what I'm doing right now is a bad example of a rusher. I've got a ton of archers, and I'm just standing there.
That's okay. I don't think you realized he had gold there, and there's a couple spots. See, I didn't realize this guy was gathering gold from here. So it's frustrating enough. This is really actually a good example of what not to do in some cases. I mean, there's a lot of great pressure here, and it keeps us from being kind of blindsided at our bases.
Am I building up farms? Yeah.
I'm sure you are.
Oh yeah, I'm getting my farms going. I realized I had to get the castle maybe a little bit too soon. But, I mean, late. But, okay, so when your guys move out from their, let's say, their gold mine and their wood, basically what you want to do is you kind of want to take your rush units and maneuver around their base to kind of see if you can find where they hid their workers, because they'll probably be using their secondary gold deposit, maybe getting some stone for some towers, maybe they move their wood line. A lot of people move their wood line when they're being rushed to somewhere else. You just want to keep the pressure on. That's the whole point of rushing, is just to keep constant pressure on your enemy to slow them down.
I lost 3 scouts to that one spearman, so bad microing right there. I lost a lot of guys.
All it really takes is like 1 spearman. That's what a lot of people do. They'll just throw 1 spearman in for a counter of scouts. Like, that's what I do. I had a bad experience with scouts, and since then I always just create 1 spearman with my archers just to be on the safe side.
This guy's slowly building up the knights. He definitely needs more gold. I wonder if he got his tech efficiencies on it. It's always good. Generally, when I get to feudal, I get the wood and gold tech efficiencies, and that helps me gather much faster. You see, I have way too much wood. I probably should have pulled some people off the wood line and then moved them in. I think I just did that. I just moved these guys off the wood line to get gold, so that way I could start making some knights. Research bloodlines. Give me that
check my archers.
Extra 20 hit points.
Because I want to see if I can make a point. To click on them. Click on them. Okay, so a good thing, something you do not want to neglect, especially if you're the Britons, is your blacksmith, or any civilization, is your blacksmith upgrades. They basically, what they do is they make your units more cost effective. And what I'm doing right now is losing a mangonel. Mangonels can be useful if they are microed correctly. They can take out a ton of archers. Mangonels were probably a bad choice for this game. I wanted to get his town center from a distance, but the problem with that is, like, he had knights, and I only had a few knights. He would say he has sent a lot more knights than I'm seeing right now. I actually do remember this game. It's kind of funny.
So I'm kind of going with the same combo here, and I'm pushing it on the side. I definitely want to get rid of those and with my knights, and then I want to get rid of the spearmen with my archers, kind of mix it up. He definitely gets some confused. I mean, knights are pretty strong. If you gang him up on a spearman, you'll be okay. He had a town center going right here. I just wanted to stop him to get that, so he doesn't get that out of defense. It worked out really well for me, because so he rushed all these guys in, and I was able to just kind of run around and micro them. I knew that most of them were going to be aggroed, and then I just kind of let them take care of them for the most part. Just moved and that movement helped. And
Fortunately, your knights did take quite a few hits.
They did, but I feel like I got out of that battle better scathed than...
Yeah, you did not lose the battle, that's the important thing.
So Michael's got pikemen too to counter his knights.
Yeah.
So you should always be adapting to what the other player is doing. If you see them building knights, it's good to get some pikemen out and help defend. He's definitely got his archers there.
And do not let your archers get too close to the town center like I did.
Right. They'll get started getting picked off. Do you stand ground for that?
I forgot to stand ground.
Yeah, they're getting pulled in.
Yeah.
I get fended off though, because he starts spitting out elite skirms, so he got a tech upgrade for the spearmen, turned him into pikemen, and he got elite skirms. I didn't realize this. He ends up pushing me back. I'm gonna go back and just kind of view what Michael's going through. He's getting that town center and forcing this guy to take his workers off their farms, so he's not getting that necessary food income to keep building and spamming those knights. So that's good.
Anything you can do to slow him down. Although, unfortunately, those mangonels are really expensive. If you can keep your mangonels from dying, by all means, keep them from dying while you're attacking. And that's a micromanagement issue. You got to be very good with managing the mangonels because they're very slow. They cannot outrun knights. You got to have your pikemen out in front of them. I should have flanked my pikemen and had them on stand ground, so they'd have to run around the pikemen to get to my mangonel. It's a little complicated. I haven't really done it effectively before.
So you can see right here, this is what knights can do to archers. They send them in there, and armies equal size, and it's not even a contest.
But I did send in my pikeman. I realized that I thought he was gonna go and attack my base, so I thought I'd chase him with the pikeman.
He got that forward town center, or he got a better town center up to help cover. And then he's also getting a castle up in the same spot. At this point, I got frustrated, and I didn't think I could beat him, at least continuing the way I was going. So I decided to just go run and see if I could make a mad rush through Michael's base. I didn't know where his worker line was. I can't see that, but I just happened to run through the right area on my attack. It worked out really well. So I made a pretty critical mass, a pretty strong mass of troops, and I sent them up. And I figured at this point, he's attacking my barracks. He's really not paying attention. He's just trying to defend. I don't think he realizes that I'm just going to lay off. He's invested in this. He's putting a ton of food into all this. He keeps making more troops. I'm just going to send my guys up and see if we can wipe out one and then 2v1 that guy, because he was a little too much for me to handle. Michael's still going with the mangonels. He's got good siege. I think I'm starting to make a siege workshop to help out. I tend to use battering rams more than I use mangonels, but they both have separate purposes and they work well.
I tend to not like to use battering rams because if he has a lot of villagers near his town center, if he knows that villagers can really take them out easily, he'll use them.
He does have more upgrades on his knights. Definitely got more upgrades on his knights. But I have the archers helping out, getting a little extra fire. Plus, I had more knights. I do have bloodlines. I think we both have bloodlines, so it's pretty helpful. They can soak up quite a bit of archer fire, to be honest. And so I'm pretty aggressive with my knights, knowing that I can just take down a couple towers, and then the minimum damage kicks in, or the minimum range, and I'll be able to get the last one without being scathed. And then at this point, his workers are all pinched up and cinched up top. Green's finally getting aware of this, and I think he just sent his guys in. At that point, he actually funneled me into his workers because I got nervous and I ran in, and it was just a slaughter. He hit these guys in first, and Michael's archers picked off pretty much almost all his spearmen. And then Michael could throw his knights out to finish the rest of them. But at this point, I just wood line here, gold line and food line over here. Just ran in with the knights and the crossbowmen, and he had so much. He must have had at least 50. I wish I checked before, but by the end of this fight, I'm pretty sure he has 6 villagers left.
So the important lesson here is I could have taken this guy out so much earlier, at least on my front, and you got to get your scouting information, and I did not have the look at my view. Let's go to my view and see it. Early game, you gotta, well, now I sort of know, but not very much. You gotta find all their mineral deposits with your scout around your base. You gotta know all the possible areas they could be building, and you gotta seek them out when you're rushing. Like I had a bunch of units just standing around.
Yellow resigned, GG'd, and then Green soon followed. Green had a nice defense. He probably had a ton of econ, but at the point where it's 2v1, a lot of people psychologically just can't handle that, and they give up, even if they are sitting pretty well. But I think the early game harassment, being zoned off of one of his big gold supplies, and then losing most of his army up here and going to lose the rest of them. Psychologically, it was just too much. Overall, it's a good game. Okay, this is a 3v3. I think we won this one. I can't remember if we did or not. It's kind of a weird one because it's really difficult to rush when you're right here, and I'm going to rush across the map. We try to go, the flanks hit their close ones, and the middle guy goes as far as he can across the map. So this is the guy that I'm going to rush. I don't know where he is because we play with Fog of War, and I guess that's the best way to play because you have to do additional scouting. I had a hard time finding sheep right off the bat. This is actually a really good example of how shitty I did. The players that we played were not strong, and if they were stronger, I definitely would have had a lot more of a challenge. Yeah, the lack of food right off the bat, I ended up trying to get food from the berry bushes down here. I finally got some sheep, and then I switched them back. And let's see what everyone else is doing right now.
Yeah, you should check in on Shark Tank's got his sheep, and what do I have? I have some sheep.
The back,
building.
Already starting your wood.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it looks like you have 2 workers right here, plus your 6. There's 8, 9. So you have 9 workers going right now. I'm still at, I have 8. So I'm a little bit behind already. Actually, I don't even have, I have 7 because I have a scout that adds it to my population.
Ooh, I think Orange tried to be a dick and kill one of my villagers or scouts. I got revenge on him, though.
Walling on this is extremely difficult. You're going to have to deal with the ice that's here, and you can't build anything on top of the ice. What's nice about the ice is that there's sheep just scattered all around on the map, and so if you needed additional food, you can always scout the area and pick them up along the edges for the most part. Purple over here, pretty big noob. It was actually kind of helpful that I was on purple. It kind of gave him, I guess, more time to get his stuff together, although it wasn't very difficult. This is our stereotypical feudal rush, or our flush is what they like to call it. It's where we get 22 population, and then we rush over to their base, start building a forward, and getting some pressure on them. So Michael's got 4, Gabe's getting 5 workers on wood. He's quickly getting a mill up because I think he wants to start building farms.
Gabe is Shark Tank, by the way.
I don't know. So, interesting spot. I don't know if it's, I think he's focusing just on farms. He's not going to get any food from the berry bushes.
You should probably let them know that, like, Gabe has, I mean, we told him. We didn't show him how to rush, we told him how to rush.
Yes. So Gabe his whole experience on Age of Empires is just what we tell him. He's never played it, and we played it a lot as kids, so we actually like understood like the basics of the game. And Gabe is basically from scratch, so Shark Tank has no experience with it, and so he's still learning a lot of stuff too. He does the right thing with the gold deposit, building it just a little bit off his mind, so that way his workers can get in between and kind of get in there.
Oh, and I have a helpful tip. Not tin. I don't even know what a tin is. Okay. So building your mill, you want to build it, usually, it doesn't matter, you can build it right up against your berry bushes, or you can build it just like one block or one space off. And you always want to build it one space off of your mineral deposits, your gold and your stone, so your workers can fully saturate it.
That's a good
example.
But
on wood line, you want to build it as close to the wood line as possible, and when there's a gap big enough to build another lumberjack between, I mean not lumberjack, but lumber camp between there, you build another lumber camp. And the reason you do that is to minimize the amount of time your villagers spend walking between spaces. I know it may look like a short distance, but it does add up over the course of the game. It's just a little time saving measure.
I believe Shark Tank showed me where where green was, and I'm just moving my scout around. I'm trying to find out where purple is. That's the guy I've chosen to attack. Or not so much. Yeah, it was purple because you knew you were going to attack orange. So purple hit feudal. He had a really fast feudal time. He's like 10 minutes, but he did it the wrong way. He basically just saved up and hit feudal. He didn't build any villagers, and you know there's a point where it's not efficient to hit feudal age if you are not making or not creating enough villagers to really support.
You can hit castle age in like 13 minutes if you want to, but it's like,
it's just not,
why bother?
It's not a really feasible option if you can't get any military units or any defense units. You see what happens here is I find out where he is, I find out where his all stuff is, and I thought he may have had more. That field time was really, really fast, but my archers really don't have any issues. If you're going to commit to any field units, There's two different ways you can do it. If you commit to a feudal war, you better make sure the guy doesn't get to a castle age. And this wolf's attacking Gabe's unit. He should have brought something out to protect it. But if you're gonna make units that cost food, then you better commit and make sure that he doesn't have any food income or wood income to keep his farms going. Because you definitely want to keep them in feudal. If you want to kind of keep them in feudal, do a lot of devastation to workers and catch them off guard, you use archers. Because they are wood and gold, and it's probably the best combination to do if you're trying to get the castle as well. Purple's not too bad in terms of being smart and defending, trying to kill the scout when he has a chance.
My guy was trying to wall, and what he did is kind of interesting. So you can wall with buildings, which is a lot of people, I don't think they realize you can wall with military buildings, like and then your economy buildings. Such as the market or the blacksmith, and you can just basically you're building houses and you're building a wall at the same time. So like it's basically 2 in 1.
So Gabe's got his barracks up. Short Tank is doing a good job with that. Green snuck some workers all the way around the corner here. I'm getting attacked by his scout as well. And I think he's going to try to build a forward. He does build a forward in between us. My worker here attacking that wolf. There's lots of wolves on this map to make it really frustrating. And my workers here. I'm just starting to get my forward up. It took me a while to get out there. Michael's got his attack already on his gold line, which is
Did he
perfect.
try to build a tower? Click on that. I can't remember.
He knows.
Oh, palisade wall. Yeah, he was trying the wall off. Yeah, I don't know. A bad thing to do is wall off your gold. Like,
Yes.
It looks like he was kind of going to accidentally do. If you're getting rushed, I would recommend you not do that. And,
You're going to need your gold units.
yeah.
So he's in a crappy spot because now he has to venture outward to see what he can find, and I think he just runs in general. Green over here really commits hard to a feudal fight, and he's not getting to the castle anytime soon. Gabe did the same thing, though. He built militia, and he's even in the Dark Age. He hasn't clicked up, which he should have. He's facing a guy in the Feudal Age. All the guy needs is men-at-arms or any Feudal Age unit, and he'll take out the militia, no problem. In fact, I think workers with Loom can do pretty good damage to militia. Militia are like weaker workers, in my opinion.
I would not commit to militia or like men-at-arms. With their upgrade, the men-at-arms, just because they cost food and gold. It just... like if you're trying to get up to, if the other guy's hitting you, and if the other guy's hitting you with archers, you will lose. Like if he has a critical mass of archers, your men at arms they can just hit and run. In fact, I don't know if we have an example of that in this game. Maybe we do. Did you do a hit and run with your archers against those men at arms?
I'm not. No, I don't think so. But he could see. I was wondering if he could see. He could see me building a tower. What he should have done is try to stop me. But you try to build your tower like just out of the reach of them. I had my archers protecting, so I wasn't too worried. But if you get a tower up right over their gold supply, you get that extra harassment in. You see, I instantly start palisading off my tower, and I also wall off his other gold supply over here. Just to try to get every chance I can get to keep him off his gold. Orange just come down here to avoid Michael's harassment, which is pretty heavy over on his gold supply. I mean, he could actually go down here and start picking off things, but he doesn't see it yet. It's kind of hard to see, and you don't want to get too close to the town center to where you can get hit.
Yeah, you do not want your guys to get picked off by a town center. You want to keep your harassment units alive as long as you can while harassing.
So Gabe's still harassing. That was really fast. Gabe's still harassing over here, but his base is getting hit really hard with men-at-arms. Unfortunately for the other guy, he's just not, like, I've invested fully into my economy. I have tons of workers kind of going around, and I mean, I'm at 51 pop, and I think Michael's probably somewhere around there. Short Tank's Curtain, and yeah, you have 61, so I mean, even more.
I had lots of archers.
So we just keep pumping out units, and I think at this point we start really focusing on our economy, so I get more houses up, starting to get workers out, and then, I mean, purple seems done to me. Orange seems done. I have my archers down here picking off his little secondary base.
Oh,
Green's been the only issue because the harassment for men-at-arms are just not enough. You lose them too easily. He is doing some harassment, killing
So
off
were you
workers.
building houses up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is another example of something you should do. So when you have the forward villagers up there, if they're not doing anything, they're just sitting there idle. They're villagers that could be collecting something. So one of the things you can do is just have them build houses. If you're trying to save on stone, maybe just have them build like a mining camp and start stealing their gold if you have their gold zoned off, or something of that nature, or just wood. You just never really... It's always nice to maximize your efficiency and make sure they have something to do at all times.
So Michael sent some archers down the gate, basically kind of help them out.
And I didn't notice that it was right there. I think I got distracted. I sent them down and I'm like, oh wait, I'm supposed to be helping. Now this is kind of an example of bad micro, because I could have won this battle if I had hit and run, but I just kind of stood there, and I kind of started to try to attempt that, but I just kind of let them catch up too much, and then I tried to get a hill advantage.
Yeah, you should have run up there. That would have been good.
You do get a hill advantage in Age of Empires, basically, if you attack people from a hill and they're at the lower part of the hill and you're at the higher part.
You do more damage.
Yeah, and I let him surround me. That's the really bad thing. So if enemies surround you, then I think... I'm not sure if they do more damage, but it's more chaotic. It takes away your ability to sort of pick them off.
So he sends some guys in. I have Loom. I'm not too worried. Just pick off the scout. And then he's still trying to keep his forward going. I think he wants to end one of us. And what's Shartank doing? Orange is still trying to build more base. He's finally got some archeries up. And I think I've just been trying to see if I can find anything else up here. Unfortunately, there's really nothing left. Purple kind of
is in trouble.
Well, purple shouldn't even be... I shouldn't even be worrying about purple right now. But I've already clicked up the castle. I'm almost at that next stage. And at that point, I know like I'm going to have the win. If you look at the scores, me and Michael way higher than Green together. And on top of that, like, we both get to the castle age around the exact same time. And now it's just a matter of time, because we have knights that can come out, and we can do a lot of different things. Siege units are now a possibility, and I don't even worry about it. Now that I'm at Hit Castle, I just said purple can now build up to the point where it'll be strong, so I'll just upgrade him to Crossbowman, and then go see if I can help out at game space. The main thing is I think I sent them down to green and just tried to do eco damage, because I said Gabe will be fine, you know, if this guy's economy goes away, then it's no worries. Purple resigned after I left, probably just frustrated. And now he's not getting any food, and I'm going to try to see if I can get anything else. Like, Michael keeps head down there to help out. Pretty simple. Orange is getting hit with knights now. I didn't realize you were doing two fronts there. That's pretty awesome. And then Green resigned because he just got frustrated. It's really psychological. Like, a lot of these guys, once they get someone comes in backside on their base, they get frustrated and give up. It sucks that I lost all those archers. Because he's got guys still garrisoning the town center, even though he's quit his units while attack.
I think when someone quits, their town center should probably stop attacking you. Because it's like, in real life, it's like you resign from the war. The war doesn't keep fighting.
I lost so many units on that. But, and then, I don't know who's still attacking. Yeah, and then finally,
Orange.
I don't know how to say his name. Apoxa Smitty. Anyways, he resigned as well. It was pretty good. This is kind of how we do it, and we have a very strict build order in the Dark Age into the Feudal Age that we go by. You know, we get at least 5 on wood after we have the 6 on food. Put 1 on gold. And then from there, there's a lot of flexibility, and depending on what units you want to make and what you want to do. I recommend putting some more people on wood and gold, because you want to make archers if you want to do an archer strategy. And then once you have a sufficient amount of wood and gold, kind of getting that production, you want to try to make more villagers and try to get more and more food. And that's really...
And if you can, when you get straight to castle, getting up 1, even 2... town center. Ultimately, minimum you want 3 town centers if you're going for a long game that goes far beyond the initial feudal rush and castle age rush.
That's what we're learning. That's kind of what we're learning right now, because I think we've got the feudal rush down to the point where we can. Average players we're good enough to compete. It's that next step against the average player is getting the boom going. If we get stalemated. But a lot of times we feel like if we isolate everything to one-on-one on these 3v3 matches, we have a one-on-one.
Yes, that's a very important thing with a rush. You got to pick your guy and go after him. Everyone goes after their own guy and only helps the other person out in a critical way when they've got their guy down.
Because we feel like, you know, if everyone gets a rush going and the other person isn't re-rushing them back, that one person will win their one-on-one, and then at that point you have 2v3 in the numbered game, and it's all with you. So yeah, that's some of the Age of Empires footage I have. I have way better ones, a lot more like of people swearing at me for walling off their resources and doing things like that. I mean, this is
It really is a dick move, but I mean, it's a very effective when done correctly.
Anyways, guys, I told you I had some footage. I do have some secret stuff planned with a secret game that I have and all the secret stuff that I have for it.
Is it?
And I don't know. It's either Shark Tank's gonna play it with us, and it'll be him, me.
Is the game about?
And it'll be Michael. So it'll be me, my brother, and Shark Tank or Gabe, and then maybe Allie. And we're still figuring out what's gonna happen, but it could be a 4-person kind of deal, and that's what's going on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
How mad would you have been if I just said Monster Hunter?
I wouldn't have cared.